VGNARLEY till I die. Mic check 1 2 to the 3 4 5. Nick Tunes up next with the broadcast live.
What's up, Grommet? Grommet Vommit, brought to you by JB2 and the Duke. And for today's sponsors of the show, we got Coastal Edge and we got Blackstrap. Use promo code JB2 Supergrom 23 to get 20% off your order.
We also got Daville Skate Shop.
Yeah.
And we are going to do this thing where you can win 4 free Myrtle Beach tickets. All you have to do is go follow Tansey fam on Grommet Vommit on Instagram. And if you do, you can get a chance to win 4 Myrtle Beach tickets. So make sure you go and follow Tansey
Gotta go do
fam.
that.
And Grommet Vommit. What am I doing? All right. Well, yeah, you got that.
Yeah. And from where I am right now, I am in Snowshoe, West Virginia, and I'm at my friend Jared's house, and there's a little foundation right there. You guys can, foundation right there. You could scan the QR code, and you could donate because Bobby, the Bobby Magini Foundation.
All right, who's our guest?
And our guest is Zach DiPaolo.
Hey, Mr. Zach DiPaolo, or what do we call you? Mr. Zach, Mr. DiPaolo, Mr. Zach DiPaolo. What?
Or just Zach.
You guys can just call me Zach, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, Zach is good.
Zach.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate you guys having me on the show. Love what you guys are doing. How are you guys today?
Awesome.
I am totally fine. How are you?
I'm hanging out, buddy. I've had a busy week. I'm actually back home where I live. It's right outside of Richmond, Virginia. And
nice.
I'm at my apartment. I had some bike maintenance this week. Lots of behind the scenes emails, content packages for some upcoming events. And today, as you guys know, we announced the Jackalope Fest event. So I was working with that team closely. So just stoked, hanging out at home, and I actually have this weekend off. So just gonna do some training and have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so guess what we're gonna be doing this podcast?
What? Tell me.
We are going to be asking questions.
Woo! I'm here for it, buddy. Ask away.
That sounds fancy.
That
fancy.
sounds so fancy. So very fancy.
Very.
Okay. So how did you get into extreme dirt bike riding?
Right. So actually, I was about your age. I was 9 years old, and I got a dirt bike, and I had always rode BMX and mountain bikes, so I knew that I really loved riding, 2 wheels. But something about the dirt bike, even that first day, I wound up jumping it a little bit and riding trails, going to some of the local motocross spots. And I think I did really well my first, few times. And it was just the most fun I had ever had in my life. So I fell in love with just riding dirt bikes right away. So then, I mainly rode on the power lines near my house, trails. We didn't really have the money to go to, amateur races every weekend. I might hit, I don't know, 3 or 4 races a year in different districts when they were close. I'd always do well at the races, but to be honest, I always found myself going to practice days and just whatever the biggest jump on the track was, I would just go jump it over and over again and cut the track to come back. And, I was practicing heel clickers and no handers and knack-knacks. And,
nice.
so I guess that was kind of the first time I was doing tricks, and I didn't really even think anything about it. It was just having fun. And so then actually getting into freestyle motocross as a job, I'll tell you what, kids, this is a really deep lesson too, because I got out of school. I had great grades, advanced diploma. I was set up to do whatever I wanted from that point. I wanted to make some money, so I worked at a car dealership. Set records there. My first month, I got promoted to an internet marketing position.
Oh, nice.
And they made a corporate change to all these locations where essentially I went from like getting paid well on like commission to an hourly job with a bunch of us. So it kind of hit me hard. And I realized like, man, you can really pour yourself into a job, and it doesn't necessarily pan out the way you think. And I kind of had this epiphany where I'm like, man, if I'm going to pour myself into something, I know my level of effort and passion for being successful in life, like I may as well go do the thing I really want to do. So that day, losing that job and walking away from it was like probably the worst thing that had ever happened to me at that point. I was so upset, but looking back on it, I could have stayed down and upset and focused on that, but I just took the right turn. I went straight home. I got on Google and I typed in East Coast Freestyle Motocross, and I found Behind Bars FMX. This guy out of Pennsylvania, his name's Casey Higgins. He was one of the OGs
nice.
of the sport. Yeah, first he was riding Dew Tour, first guy to do FMX on a 4-stroke on like a 426,
wow.
Yamaha back in the day. And that dude's a legend. He shreds. He retired a few years ago, but he taught me a lot. And, I went up there, rode my first day at full gap to dirt, learned a few tricks. My second day riding, I was learning bar hops, crashed and broke my collarbone. So it was never an easy or automatic path. I just kind of never gave up. And, once I got a few shows for pay, like fairs and, a truck, drag race and different smaller events, and I was getting money for it, I was like, man, getting paid to ride my dirt bike is a whole other level of happiness that I didn't really know existed. So
Yeah.
from that point on, I was sold. I knew that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I know that
Cool.
was a lot, but that's the story.
A lot to take in.
I know.
I
Yeah, I
have
just didn't
ano-
quit, man. It's what I wanted to do. Sorry, what were you
Yeah.
saying, buddy?
I have another fancy question.
Fancy. Let's hear it,
Tell-
bud.
Okay, you got-
fancy.
I think all the fans want to know this. Tell us more about the broken neck.
Sure. So yeah, actually like a month ago, I finally posted a crash video from 2014. And if you want to read the whole story, you can go to that post and read it. But basically, I had just done a whole tour at full gap. These were kind of like more homemade ramps that we ran like maybe 10 feet shorter because it was a really steep ramp. I'm sure you know from surfing, snowboarding, skating, the radius of the kicker you're hitting changes how you hit it. You don't hit a half pipe the same way you hit a roller. You know what I mean? So that ramp, I knew you had to come in really slow. Some issues with it coming down to the event with the axles and stuff got it there late. And I kind of had a choice where I could either practice in front of the crowd, which I knew I needed to do because it was such a weird ramp, or I could just blast it and go right into my tricks. But I didn't like practicing in front of people because I want to look good, but I knew I should, and it was my show. So I kind of let my ego get in the way. Like I knew to be safe, that's what I should do, but I didn't want to look dumb. But like I crashed and, I just broke 5 bones. I didn't finish the show. So I'm sure people would have much rather watched me practice and jump. So that day was a major lesson. Yeah, I broke my neck, C7 vertebrae. I broke both my arms. I broke my collarbone. Plated and screwed, broke my ribs, had some internal bleeding. I think that's all of it. But yeah, it was rough. It was definitely going to hell and back. It taught me a lot. And yeah, I feel like I had a new appreciation for life and freestyle motocross after it. So that's kind of the positive I feel like I got from that lesson.
Lesson of that story.
Oh, and as far as the neck,
think-
it was a bad time. I feel like you kind of was asking me more about like breaking my neck. That's how it happened, and I wouldn't recommend it.
And lesson of that story: don't care if people think you look dumb.
Amen,
much
buddy. That is it.
rather people think you look dumb than break 5 bones.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm glad that you got that.
Yeah.
You can go.
You gotta do it. No,
Me?
you got it, Duke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll back you up.
I think that was the most bones I've ever heard of breaking at once, of somebody breaking at once, because that sounds like you said 5 bones breaking all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds really
It
hard.
kind of felt like going through a portal and then waking up on the ground in like a suffering human being's body. That's the only way I can describe it, because it was so intense. It was almost like I time traveled or something. Because I didn't get knocked out, but just the sheer force of the handlebars kind of coming through me, it didn't knock me out, but it just felt like, I don't even know, like a bus in the universe came through and just traveled me through a portal
Right.
into someone laying on the ground with a bunch of injuries. But
It's probably what you were like waiting at the top to about to go down. Do I practice or do I go? Do I send it? Do I practice or do I send it? Send it.
yep, that's pretty much it. And it works most of the time. Like, as you guys know, at a certain point, you got to believe in yourself, and you do got to send it when you're scared. So it's a tough thing to figure
Yeah.
out when you're growing up. But I think at that point, I was just so hungry to show people I was a good rider that I cared a little too much about that. And I've learned. And now if I get to a show, 99% of the time I just hit the ramp at full gap, either in practice or the show or whatever. But man, if I, sometimes we get to an indoor arena where we got a slick concrete run up and we don't have as much room as we need. So I'll do whatever it takes to get it done safe now. So definitely a lesson learned there.
Yeah, like today I was snowboarding, and in the terrain park, there's like it's a weird jump. It's kind of like a tabletop. You can either like go up right on the tabletop or go back down or air it
Okay.
like a hip, or you can, because there is a landing. There is a landing, so you can jump, gap it, and hit the landing, which is
Like boost
really
the whole
hard.
thing.
Yeah, which is really hard because it's like a 30-foot gap or something. I don't know, maybe a
Dang.
little less or more. But like today I tried it. I tried it my first try. I got super close, like I almost cleared it. Like just the back of my snowboard just hit the knuckle just a little bit. But then my second try just glided right over. I went, woo!
Awesome,
Yeah.
dude. Congrats. That sounds
Yeah.
sweet. I love snowboarding, man. I'm just not great at it, but man, I have fun going out there. And I think for
Yeah.
the amount of times I've gone, my buddies say I'm pretty good, but I really just it's something magical about just going down the mountain towards the end of the day. You've had fun with your buddies and just looking out into the night sky. Like, snowboarding is really one of my favorite things in the world to do. Yeah, freestyle motocross, snowboarding, skydiving, like those are the things I live for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. And
Hey,
the things I live for is surfing, skating, snowboarding, and eating and
All the
sleeping.
shred. Oh, dude, I love. Don't get me wrong, I love me some food, man. Food and music, man. It was definitely some of my first loves there.
Yeah.
What do you like to eat, JB2? What's your favorite food? And you too, Duke.
Oh, well, steak or blackened tuna. But if
Oh,
it's like
man.
at a place that doesn't have that, then I'll get like chicken and fries.
Yeah, I'm a steak and
um,
salmon guy a lot, so that makes sense. Duke, what about you, buddy?
hold up, I gotta think for a second.
Dude, I know. I mean, when people ask me, like, even what's your favorite Mexican food? I'm like, I don't know. Tacos, fajitas. There's so many options.
I really like oysters, and I really like mussels. I'm into seafood a lot, and this might sound weird, but I love Hardee's burgers. I don't know why. It's just I like like the
You like a nice Carl's Jr.
yeah. No,
Hey,
actually, I'd get like the biggest size of burger they have, and I'd get like a big fry.
ooh.
I don't think
Big fry.
I
So
can't.
are they the ones with the curly fries, or is that Arby's? I think I'm getting confused.
I think
Arby's.
it's
We have the
Arby's.
meat.
Arby's. I
Cool.
think it's Arby's. They have the straight fries like Wendy's.
Gotcha. They're both good. So hey, you guys are coming to Jackalope, yeah, down in Virginia.
Yes.
So when you
Virginia
guys come to
Beach.
Jackalope, I want you to do one thing for me. I want you to go try NN Burger. It's the best burger
Okay.
you'll ever have in your life. I'm serious. They got locations
Where?
in Tappahannock and Kilmarnock. You can hit it on the way down. They just renewed as a title sponsor for me this year. So their
Oh, nice.
support has been really critical the last few years. And also just to give a
Nice.
shout out to my clothing sponsor, Headrush, Fredericksburg
Nice.
Motorsports in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm just so grateful for my support this year, and I really
Yeah.
think it's going to make a difference. But yeah, you guys got to try that NN burger when you come down.
Yeah. Okay. While you're giving plugs to your sponsors, I'm gonna give a plug to a couple of my sponsors. Okay, guys.
Do it to
If
it.
you ever come down to Virginia Beach, go to Coastal Edge, buy some swag. You know, be like
Heyo.
JB2 sent me. Be like JB2 sent you, and then after you get whatever you want from Coastal Edge, go try out that new skateboard on the ramps there, and then after you do that, go to get lunch at Zero Subs Oceanfront, and then after that, hang out with your friends for a little bit. Then go get some Chicho's pizza.
Heyo. Sounds like a pretty rad day,
Yeah.
my guy.
I bet you 0 subs would be for lunch and Chicha's Pizza would be for dinner.
Ain't
because
that what I
the-
said, boy? Boy.
I thought you were just going like 10
Boom.
seconds. I'll eat a lot more. But
Oh, yeah.
I thought you mean like I'll just eat it all at once.
Oh, now that would
No.
be a challenge.
Mr.
Zach.
DiPaolo. I know it's
Mr.
not. You
Zach.
just call me Zach. Yeah,
Just
I'm
call me
Zach.
Zach.
What's up, boys?
All right. The narrator. I heard you were a ninja warrior sort of person. A ninja
Yeah.
warrior.
Yeah. The last 2 years I competed on American Ninja Warrior. It's a contest on NBC. It's like an obstacle course essentially that you run through, and man, it's really gotten harder as the years have gone on. Like, I was a fan of it back when I was a kid, and would just watch it after school at home. And I always just enjoyed seeing, people from different backgrounds. It was just so interesting to see how they do on the course. And yeah, so I cut weight and did a ton of ninja training. I had some of the best coaches in the business. Shout out to my boy Dougie Harrelson, and all the people down at Rock Solid Warrior and now at Motive Movement in Greenville, South Carolina. All these gyms, like, everybody really put me in a position to do well. I competed on the show. I had an amazing introduction both years. NBC rented me a dirt bike to come in on, custom gear and stuff for the show, for the intro.
Oh, wow.
And I had a lot of fun doing it, but it was a lot. Sometimes I think maybe just focusing on the run could have helped. But once I conquered that first obstacle, I was, I had good energy. So it really bothered me for a while, but I did not advance to semifinals. I fell in the water both years on really hard obstacles, and it was a small mistake. The first year it was like a timing error. This last year I competed, they had this roller coaster obstacle where you lâché with a bar. You lâché from a rolling bar to another rolling bar, and then you take that bar with you from the second track to the third. And I basically
think I've seen
jumped
that.
that first gap with a little bit too much forward force. So instead of rolling down it like a jump, like you'd pump a roll in to jump the next jump, I fell down it and lost my speed. So I fully committed. I know I was in shape to get through that course. I knew I would have gotten up the wall if I got there. I was the right weight. I was the right everything. It's just a small mistake. And when you're trying hard stuff in life, it's going to happen. And tough situations don't last. Tough people do. So I'll be back. I'm gonna redeem myself on American Ninja Warrior. But yeah, it was a blast. It actually kind of started just because of the COVID year. I had a year worth of shows booked. When all the shows kind of got canceled. So I didn't want to not have something to chew on, like a difficult challenge for my body. So yeah, I decided to start training for Ninja Warrior. So that's
Yeah.
kind of where it started. And that's another lesson. It's like sometimes bad things happen and you find something else cool you probably never would have even tried. And I'm so grateful for all that, it's taught me and all the experiences with it and everything. So it's actually funny how much it's tied in, like all the balance and like grip strength and core strength I gained from Ninja, for sure I felt better on my dirt bike doing tricks in the air. So
Yeah.
one hand washes the other with athletics and staying in shape. So yeah, man, just grateful for the experience.
Yeah. But you know what you got to do? Even though you
Let's hear
fell
it.
in the water, even though you fell into the water, you're one of the people that get to know is if the water's hot or cold.
It's freezing, bro.
Actually,
Freezing. Like even when we first got there, before we ran the course, they have testers because you're not allowed to touch the course. We don't know what it is until we get there, and we get to watch a tester run the course once. And like, dude, like the testers were struggling with the course. We're like, oh god, like it's not looking easy, And then
and
we dipped a finger in the water to see if it was cold, and it was like ice cold. And we're like, okay, great, cool.
don't fall. I has there are testers allowed to do the Ninja Warrior contest? They shouldn't be because like
No,
they get to
you're
test it.
right. Exactly. The testers are oftentimes really good established ninjas that have been on the show for years or whatever,
Oh,
parkour athletes. Um, so they're like exceptional athletes. That's why they're testers. And like, I think they're, paid to be there and stuff like they have their own thing there, but no, the testers cannot compete on that year. You're
okay,
correct.
good. Because that's a cheat code right there. I'm a tester. I'm entering. I already know what the course is. Like, yeah,
Ready to go.
big
Yeah. Yeah. You
brain.
got
I
the
am big
answers
brain.
already.
Oh,
Oh, I definitely could have gotten through that obstacle I fell on a second try. And that's the thing is like even when we're training, when I'm watching the best guys, Brett Sims, Bob Reese, these guys I train with down at Motive 2, it's like they don't always get the new obstacles first try. Like, you know what I mean? Because even if you have the skill and the ability and the strength, like there's often just like little things you wouldn't think about, like, oh, you got to have your knees a little farther ahead of you when you grab it, or you peel off because you're, just little things. So
yeah.
it's just a tough sport. And like I think I said this earlier before we started the video, but it's like it's fun, but it's hard because even when it's going well, it's really painful. Because like, I mean, you go do ninja training for a few hours, like your palm, I mean, my palms are usually bleeding at the end. So it's a gnarly sport, but yeah,
Yeah.
man, I'm stoked to be back on my dirt bike, riding in front of huge crowds, doing, my center core passion with freestyle motocross. And yeah, this year is just looking so awesome, man. I'm stoked.
Yeah, like it's also really crazy because I do like a monkey bar. It's not even that long. It's probably from like where I'm sitting to that chair over there. You can't see it; it's off
Mhm.
camera. But like
I'll
by
take
the
your word
time
for
I
it.
get done with it, like my hands are all red and they have a bunch of blisters on them when they
Oh
hurt.
yeah, yeah. My hands are. You see the calluses on these
Oh
boys? They're smoked.
yeah,
But I mean, that's everything: weights, riding, ninja. But yeah, and I think even for you guys being into board sports, I think if you got a rainy Sunday and you want to go have some fun, pop into a ninja gym. You'd have fun, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or go
Hey,
surf.
Miss. Oh.
You can still surf when it's raining. You already get wet.
Okay, that's fair. I
Either
didn't
surf
consider
or
that.
surf. One of them. Be like, maybe this, maybe this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Hey, hey, Mr.
What's up,
Zach.
Duke? Yes,
What do
sir.
you think your favorite place to ride your dirt bike is?
Oh man. See, that's really hard because I've been so many places domestically and internationally that the crowds are just there for it. They're passionate, they're screaming, they're stoked. But like if I really had to think about it, um like I don't know, something about the South, like South Florida area, anywhere down by the beach. Virginia Beach is going to be insane.
Yeah.
But like when I rode shows in Miami a lot, man, the culture down there, like they just went insane for the dirt bikes. But if I had to pick one place, honestly, Poland. I did shows in Europe for a couple years, and we would go ride in like Krakow, Poland, and man, the Polish people there, it's like there was not one human being in the stand that wasn't standing, waving their arms, screaming, and it just made every show so much fun. So yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to do any snowboarding, skateboarding, whatever contest demos in Europe, be ready for Poland. It'll be a wild event for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Mr. Zach.
you gotta
Oh,
do.
you can
What's
go.
up?
No, you go.
Me?
You go.
Okay. Mr. Zach, who do you think your favorite rider is?
Oh man, I should have known you were going to ask me this. I should have thought about that. Dang it. That is tough. Holy smokes, man. I mean, as a kid, obviously like Pastrana is like, the man, you know what I mean? It's like McGrath, as far as racing is concerned, like McGrath was kind of already done when I was a kid. I always really liked watching like Carmichael and Stewart race. This is like motocross, supercross, but freestyle motocross, especially, Krusty Demons 8 and then TP 199 Lives. Those were like the first two FMX DVDs that I got from my buddy Matt Francis and his brother Andrew. And I was watching those at my place, and that's definitely, when I fell in love with freestyle motocross. And yeah, man, just the stuff that Pastrana was doing day in, day out for the Nitro Circus show and X Games. So he is like, it's really hard not to mention Pastrana. But then like, you want to talk about guys that I was just like obsessed with, like their riding specifically. Like then I talk about like Mike Mason, actually one of my good friends now, Derek Berlew. Like when I was younger, I would see like, flips were everything back then. And I thought flips were cool, but the guys that could do the huge holy grabs or the big sideways whips and just had style for days. Those are kind of my favorite riders too, man. So, that is a really, really, really hard question. But, yeah, and it's like even the militia guys like Deegan and Twitch, all those guys, like I was huge fans of those. And I never really like picked sides between the whole like light and dark. Are you a Pastrana, fan, or are you a metal militia fan with Deegan or Twitch or whatever? I always just kind of liked all the guys in their different style. But man, Pastrana taught me how to flip at his house the first time I ever flipped. He's let me stay there so many times. He's such a good dude. His family, his friends, like when you walk into a room that Pastrana's in, it's like there's like an alien there that just makes everyone in the room elevate everything, energy, conversation, the ability to like believe in themselves. So like that's pretty special, man. Like I've met a few people in my life that have that energy, and they're all that caliber, you know what I mean? Even like my buddy Bob Reese, he's like one of the best parkour athletes in the world. And it's the same way. I can be tired and show up to a parkour or ninja session with him, and we'll train 7 hours. Like, I don't know how. Like he's just he gives off this like environmental stoke and energy and just passion. So yeah, man, it's like I've met a lot of my heroes now too. But yeah, growing up, if you would ask me ever who my favorite rider was, Pastrana, of course. He did everything. But it's like I was really a super fan of FMX. So I liked what Pastrana was doing, but he was kind of coming to send stuff that had never been done before all the time. So not that it didn't look amazing, but I always really liked watching guys like, Mike Mason, who just had perfect, flawless style on the tricks he was executing. So yeah, man, like Pastrana and Mike Mason, and even like Tommy Clowers, Clifford Adaptante, some of the OG legends, like, I don't know, man, their style is timeless to me. So, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know that was a long answer.
I love them all.
It's a tough one. Like I'm friends with these guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, nobody really cares who my favorite rider is, but I care about my answer. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I care. I care so much.
Thank you.
I do too.
Like you better have
Who's
an
your
answer.
guys' favorite dirt bike rider?
You better not.
You guys have a dirt bike? Do you have a favorite dirt bike rider?
Jared,
Other than me, of course. No, I was kidding.
Jared Taylor
McNeil.
or Cavis Pastrana?
Did you say
Yeah.
Cavis
Are you talking about Jared McNeil? He rides the blue bike. He
Jared
does the huge
Taylor.
upside down.
I
Okay, Jared
I
Taylor.
also really love Jared Taylor.
He doesn't.
I
Jared
actually am
Taylor
not
is
familiar with that.
he produced Nitro Circus with Pastrana. He's not a real rider. He rides, but he's not like a.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I figured he meant, McNeil. He's pretty popular, Jared McNeil, with the big upside down whips and stuff. But yeah, man, I should have prepared myself for the who's your favorite rider question. That's hard. That's like the only question that you guys could have given me that would have messed me.
Mine's probably this guy.
Do you guys need me to answer it shorter, or was that okay? Like, I don't know, whatever you guys
No,
Yeah, that was good.
that was awesome.
Oh wait, I need to give you my answer. I
think. Is that adult approved, or do I need to answer that more concise?
No, it's good. So I don't know. You probably don't know him. His name is Zach DiPaolo.
I have heard of that guy, actually. Awesome, dude. I'm stoked to meet you kids, man. Really, like
Yeah.
a lot of the I don't know. I feel like Virginia too, like action sports isn't huge. I mean, I'm the only FMX rider ever.
Yeah.
The skateboarding and BMX scene, it's strong in some areas and stuff, but man, I don't run across as many well-rounded, articulate shredders as you guys. You guys are killing it, man. I'm excited to watch you guys grow up.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
You're gonna meet us at Jackalope.
Oh, speaking of favorites, Mr. Zach,
Yes.
what do you think your
Yes, sir.
favorite song is?
My favorite song. I don't know if anything makes me feel as good walking down the beach or street as Electric Light Orchestra, Mr. Blue Sky, if I'm being honest. Like if I just want to feel amazing, you kids don't know what that is, but it's an older song. Man, music is like probably my strongest passion. Like not over FMX, but I'm saying like music was something I was deeply in love with, like from a very young age. My family and friends and everyone growing up, music was the thing. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I feel like I'll end up getting back into music in the next few years. Not till I'm done with everything I want to do in FMX, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. Mr. Blue Sky. I'm just feeling optimistic and happy about life. So we'll leave it at that. But if you gave me a genre, I could give you a song in every genre, but we'll do that next time.
I'm dancing to Mr. Blue Sky. Hey.
It's a good song, man. It's old. I don't know if you kids will like it, but man, it's just a good vibe. You've probably heard it. Did you kids see Guardians of the Galaxy too?
Yes.
Sweet
Yeah.
movie, right? I'm stoked for the third. Well, do you remember
That
the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where there's kind of like happy music playing? It's like dun 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 dun, and it's like all this
Yeah.
action war scenes. That song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't really remember it. But
Guardians of the Galaxy might be my favorite superhero. I love Deadpool though.
Dude. Okay,
Yeah.
Deadpool's cool. Second one was all right. First one's great. But no, I had never when I was injured for months at a time, I watched tons of movies and shows. Obviously, thanks to things going well, I haven't been hurt in a while, so I haven't been watching a ton of TVs and movies in my free time. I've been too busy. But last year, I was at a show in Indiana, and one of my friends I met out there said something about Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm like, yeah, what is that? Some like side superhero thing? I didn't really think it was like anything worth watching, and then I sat there and watched the first and second movie, and like I'm hooked. I'm stoked for the third one to come out. So
yeah.
I think it's pretty soon too, in like a month or two, something like that.
Oh, you guys are probably wondering why I was just waving. So we got some fans that were just off camera. We got some fans. They were like yeah.
You got some fans? What? Where you're at in West Virginia at Snowshoe?
Yeah.
I love that place. I did a downhill race there
Oh,
years
nice.
ago.
Like at-
with my ex-girlfriend and her family.
Like
At Snowshoe, yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah,
I got
that's cool.
second. I did pretty good. It was
Oh, nice.
it reminded me a lot of motocross, but just
Yeah.
really hard and painful. But it
Yeah.
went well.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks, bud.
I did Birmingham. It was like I'm pretty sure 15 and under, and I got fourth.
Dude, that
Wow.
is awesome. That's
Thanks.
wild. So and that's a big, like, that's not the same as like, I don't know, a 16 or 17-year-old beating an 18 or 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Not to discredit that if
They
it's
were-
happened, I don't know. But
like-
it's like, but 12 to 15, that's a way bigger gap. Like even though it's a few years,
The biggest gap
that's
is
awesome, dude.
even bigger gap is 9 to 15. Me.
Yeah, man, you should feel good about that.
First, second, and third.
Oh, I'm sorry.
were,
I forgot you're not. Sorry, I got your age wrong.
You're good. But next time I'm gonna call you out.
Oh,
But yeah,
Spicy.
everybody that got first, second, and third were 15. I think maybe one of them was 14, but I think they were all 15.
Congrats, buddy. That's something to be really proud of, dude.
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
what do you think like the gnarliest trick you ever landed is?
Okay. So like I have flipped. So a lot of people would just say flip, but I know from riding, flipping it really isn't the hardest trick. It might be the hardest to commit to mentally, but the hardest trick I think that I've ever done, I was riding a contest down in Georgia with some of my old buddies. And we were metal to metal, 75 feet on polished concrete. So full gap, concrete, metal, there's no room for error. And so we were doing a best trick contest, and I knew my buddies had like, a little higher level tricks than me. And then one of the guys was flipping. So I'm like scratching my head like, man, I want to do good. I was like, whatever, 21, something like that. And so I hit the ramp and I did a one-handed heart attack. So it's like a vertical handstand, okay, on the dirt bike. And I have one arm behind me. And then it's big, held it, came back to the bike and like never bar checked no-handed lander. I'm really good at no-handed landers. I'm actually going to post a no-handed lander like in a few days that I just did to a dirt lander. Hadn't done it in a while, but and that was with no steering stabilizer or anything. I was on a roached stock bike, but yeah, one-handed heart attack to no bar check, no-handed lander is like, I would say the technically most difficult trick I've ever done on a dirt bike. I don't think a lot of people could do that. I don't think a lot of people would try it. And I know that there's more people that have flipped than landed that. But man, I got my eyes set on a lot higher stuff this year. I've kind of rode careful. I don't have a huge support, like it's me and my mom, so like if I get hurt, man, I got rent, like I got bills. I have had to be careful throughout my career, and getting hurt meant potentially not having a place to live. So I think I've rode really carefully my whole life, where I kind of got to a point where I could get paid to go travel the world and have fun. And I've done that now for years. And now this year I'm ready to like take more risk and put more time into progressing, not just like making money and enjoying traveling with it. So I think if we had this same conversation next spring, I would have a way gnarlier trick as my hardest trick. But yeah, that's my answer for now.
Well, I mean, that's still a really hard trick. Like, I definitely can't do that.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
What was I about to say? I forgot. Okay, we'll come back to it whenever I remember.
It happens.
Yeah.
Here, I got you.
Oh,
Here, I'll do this while you remember that question. All right. So Mr. Zach, do you think we're going to see you at the Jackalope?
Yes, 100% sure. I will be
Oh,
at
let's
Jackalope
go.
Fest in
Let's
Virginia
go.
Beach. I mean, I've rode a lot of really cool shows. I've done international shows, whatever, Japan, Europe, Mexico, Canada, United States, arenas, stadiums. I did 5 months every weekend on Monster Jam Tour last year. I've done cool events. I got to do the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. That was a childhood dream. I mean, a bunch of times. Anyways, I've never been as excited about an event as I am about Jackalope Fest.
Are you? How do you feel about Tony Hawk coming?
Nobody told me, dude. Like people, I think they thought it was funny for me to find out like last second, and like, it was a really nice surprise. I mean, I was already taking this show really seriously, really excited about it. I knew what tricks I had planned for it. I knew I wanted new tricks. I knew I wanted to do, my first 75-foot backflip show at this show. And that's not anything I've announced. So it's the first time I've actually ever said that on this. So and then once I heard Tony was gonna be there, man, again, like Pastrana or Bob Reese or these people I've met, literally just the mention of his name changes how I feel about how I am right now, how I feel about the event, my plans, everything. I got this jittery, happy, excited feeling in me when I heard Tony's going to be there. And I'm like, man, I think I'm going to ride the Friday show. If Tony's there, he's getting the best show I've ever rode. But my point is, I might call out Saturday and be like, hey, listen, if Tony comes over here and he's watching one of the FMX shows, which he may be watching all of them anyways, I don't know. But point is, if Tony comes over, I'm going to try something insane. I have a trick in my head that I've wanted to do for a really long time. Only a couple guys in the world have ever done it. It has something to do. It's not flipping the whole bike, and it's not a regular upright trick. So I'll let you figure it out from there. But I think I'm the right build. I think the ninja training will help. I think I'm the right height. I think that I know that I've been practicing things to get ready for it. So really all I need is some time at a foam pit. And so that's what I'm working on right now is like, I don't want to take so many shows leading into Jackalope that I don't have enough time to learn new stuff and really be ready to kill it at Jackalope. So I'm going to do like just enough events from now to June to like pay my bills and have money to travel. But I might even like sell, my street bike or something to pay for a little extra time at the foam pit, because this show means so much more than money to me. I'm going to make sure that that's the best weekend of my life. So I'm stoked.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a guess. I think you're gonna be going. You're gonna flip your body, but not the bike, and then land back on it.
It's a pretty dang good guess, my friend. So yeah, that's something, I got to work on. Flips I've been working on for years. I'm good at backflipping. It's just I have to drive 20 hours to go practice. So it's like the money and the time and then foam pits hurt, man. You land upside down on those things, you can get hurt. You can I did a perfect flip into the foam pit at 75 feet, and we just didn't fluff the foam underneath quite well enough. We were doing it enough, enough frequent. Dang it. We were doing it frequently enough for it to be fine, but there was just a packed spot of foam that we missed. So it's like I tore my MCL. I didn't even make a mistake. So foam pits are gnarly, dude. So yeah, I want to do like just enough where I'm confident to flip 75, but I just flipped a pit bike. I've never even owned a pit bike. So I'm feeling really confident about flipping, and, it being my first flip show at 75 in Virginia Beach, that was already going to be the best weekend of my life. But now Tony Hawk's here. Flips are cool. It's the biggest thing I've ever done in my life, and I'll still be on a very short list of human beings that have ever done that, which is amazing, and I'm honored. I kind of think Tony Hawk being there means I should do everything I possibly can to put on the best show I possibly can that day for Virginia Beach and Tony Hawk. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
When you say 75, do you mean like a 75-foot jump, or just that's
Yeah. So like we have a runway, we have a takeoff ramp, then there's a gap, and then we have a landing. So when I say 75, yeah, so the tip of the metal ramp, okay, to the shortest you could go and still downside it would be 75 feet. So we're probably actually landing at like whatever, 80, 85, 90 generally, but to barely clear the gap at 75 feet. And that's like a standard freestyle motocross gap since ever. You know what I mean? And we change it a little when we have to, but generally speaking, if we have the room, that's the gap we ride.
And wait, so it's a flip show, so you have to do flips?
I booked myself, so Jackalope Fest, they didn't just hire me as a rider. They actually contacted me to like set the freestyle motocross show up for them. So I'm handling like, the plywood layout on the beach, the ramps, hiring the announcer, hiring the other riders, how the show will go, all of that stuff. So what's cool is I really have a lot of control over how the show goes. So I brought in a couple OGs, man, 2 guys from New Jersey, my buddy Derek Berlew and Mike Angerman, and they're both old school 2-stroke riders. People love the 2-strokes, man. So people get to hear the 2-strokes, the 4-strokes. Angerman's got classic like side shows. It's like a rock solid off the side of the bike. Captain Morgan flip tricks. Derek's got like the gnarliest whips ever and every upright trick, flip trick. So I'm going to choreograph that where we do like trains where we're doing the same trick. I don't know. We might do a best whip, breast trick contest. We're still kind of deciding on all that stuff, but I definitely am going to put a lot of thought into how that show rolls. And at 1 or 2 of them, I think I'll do a trick I've never done before that not a lot of people in the world have ever done before. But yeah, the plan. I mean, I'm gonna flip at every show, so I'll be doing all my uprights, whips, new upright tricks, and flipping at all the shows all weekend. But yeah, if we can get the vibe right and people want to see it and Tony's there, I'm ready to get real sendy, man. It's just time. I've been careful so long. I'll be happy no matter what, and I think I'll land it. So yeah, man, just beyond stoked.
And I'm gonna be skating with Tony Hawk also.
Does that even feel real to you to say that? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I think I am too. Yeah, I'm doing in like
We're gonna be
it's
skating
not
the vert
it's
together.
kind of like I think it's like in I'd say like 2 months, 3 months. Like
Were you talking about the jackalope? Yeah, it's
June.
June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So yeah, a little bit more than 2 months out. Or
I am.
months out.
I'm really stoked.
Everybody, make sure you go watch Zach throw his special trick at Jackalope. Yeah, it's gonna be at Virginia Beach.
Okay. All right. I think it's joke time.
Yes. Joke. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Zach, do you have a joke?
A joke for you guys?
Yes.
Let me hear y'all's jokes first.
Yours is probably about pizza. It's probably very cheesy.
Okay.
Well, that's not my joke. Okay, my joke is let's see. All right, you go, Duke, while I'm thinking.
Okay. What did the horse say when it fallen over?
Oh no, I fell.
No, I've fallen and I can't giddy up.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I didn't see it coming. I thought I was gonna do something with hay. Hay is for horses type thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Mine is. All right, you go, Zach. I don't know. I can't think of one right now. I'm sorry.
Oh man. Man, dang it, your dad. he prepped me for this too.
All right, if you don't have one ready, I just got one.
All right, tell me, bud.
What does sushi A say to sushi B?
What?
Wasabi.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I like that. That's good. Good stuff, man. I love sushi.
Wasabi.
Do you kids like sushi? Have you guys tried sushi yet, or are you just
yes,
just
my parents are crazy about it, and I happened to try it when I was like 3, and I love it.
It's kind of
I love it.
What's your favorite sushi roll that you've had?
I don't know.
Well, because
let me
the only kind of fish I've ever eaten is tuna, and I don't know.
All right, kids.
But I don't. Really
what do you call a sleeping cow?
Hold up.
Bulldozer. Haha.
Oh, yeah.
Or wait, I think cows are female. I don't know, man. I never claimed to be a comedian, all right? So you can't hold it against me.
Neither did I. None of us are comedians.
Oh man.
But just my face is what a comedian would be roasting.
I'll leave the roast off. Well, no light roasts today. We'll get you next time.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Wait, hold
on.
Wait, I got one more question. How do you overcome your fear?
Yeah. Overcoming fear. Yeah, that's definitely been, it's not anything I think that you figure out all of a sudden at once. I think it's something that takes kind of constant work, like anything, a relationship, a job, passionate career, whatever. It takes constant work. You never have it fully figured out, but I think like you always believe yourself. Okay, let me explain what I mean by that. Like if you know inside that you've been not training, not working out, or whatever you're doing to prepare for the thing that's making you scared, we'll say freestyle motocross in this instance. So like if I'm training and I have good habits and I'm treating myself well and I'm taking good care of my bike and I'm thinking about stuff like, my accident that I've learned from, the fear is just so much less because you know that you've prepared. So I think in the past, I would get a little too caught up in having fun and being in a new city, going out to have fun with friends and partying. And it's like, I'd kind of slack on preparation. So I think when you know that you've done the work and you've prepared and it's your craft and it's something you're passionate about, that puts you in the best situation possible to minimize the fear. But then at some point, and I feel like this is a multi-point epiphany that I've been reminded of throughout my life. It's like your best chance of doing dangerous things safely is without worry, is without fear. So at some point, you just got to make the deal with yourself. And I made the deal with myself. And it was basically like, do I want to keep doing this? If it's no, because I think it's too dangerous, then don't do it. But if the answer is yes,
Then do it.
then I can't be scared once I show up to the ramp, right? I selected yes. Yes, I believe in myself to do this. So don't forget that when it's time to actually do it. You don't have to do this. You get to do this. You know what I mean? Like in the words of the great Harry Bink, it's like, it's a lot in your head, man. It's just how you're thinking of it. If you're there and you're excited to be there and you're doing what you love and you've prepared, there's still going to be some fear there, but it's going to be manageable. And you make that deal with yourself before you go and you say, listen, I want this to go well. I'm going to just eliminate the fear and do it like I know I can do it and kind of play it like a video game. Don't overthink it. Don't stress it. Just do it, but that comes with putting in the work. So it's complex, man. It's not just like a one answer thing. Work, belief in yourself, realizing that fear and worry only hurt you, and then executing.
Yeah. And like my first time I ever dropped in the vert at Mount Trashmore when I was 6, like I got up there, we got there, my dad was like, okay, buddy, you want to pump it out first? I was at the top. I was like, get your phone out. I went, I dropped in, I did everything fine. Just my legs were too short. So like this was the ramp. So like I didn't hit it. Like I dropped in, I went, no.
It just fell straight to the well, glad you're
glad
you made it through that, dude. I've dropped into some half pipes on skateboards, probably not that tall, but I know it's a full send. Like when you don't know it and it's your whatever, you're learning it. That's a send. So I know that firsthand.
I think I know. I think I've seen the video of JV when he did that.
Yeah.
So it was like funky letters that were colorful. It said kids falling, and it was like or kids getting hurt. It was like
The Instagram channel.
Yeah,
on Instagram.
It looked like Skylar. I thought it was
that's how small
Skylar, and then I read the comments, and I think it said like
JB2 Supergrom.
JB2 something like that. It was
Because
JB2, and I was like, oh, that had to be hard.
Yeah, because that was when I was 6, so I was a lot smaller because I'm very small for 9. But do you have any words of stoke or grommet for the grommets
or wisdom?
Sure.
No,
yeah. Just want to say,
I
absolutely. I just want to say thank you to Grommet Vommit. Thank you guys for having me on. And we'll see you guys at Jackalope Fest. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Grommet Vommit out.
Grommet Vommit out.
Wait, and guys, Grommet Vommit out.
Oh man, goddamn. Nick's back with a sidewalk slam. Still 10 toes with them high top.